All right. Um, hmm. Don't really plan on technically being here for a long time here. Shockingly enough, I'm wondering why. Save that. Go to the back. All right. So chances are, as always, YouTube is not going to let you guys know when I'm going live and different things of that nature, due to the fact that YouTube has done a very grand and great job at shadow banning the channel, making sure that views don't directly go out, even though um, I've had, a small influx of people, come to the platform. So this is a story that you may or may not, uh, have heard about. I'm going to more than likely have a video directly about it later on today, somewhere during the later portion of the afternoon after I'm finished um, putting some stuff together. The main reason that you're more than likely seeing my face at this moment in time is due to the fact that I barely, show up here because I'm more so focused on just doing stories and putting those stories out and different things of that nature. And also because it almost doesn't seem like it's a real use in doing it. Due to the fact that YouTube does not send out, notifications to people. So I'm like, I'll just keep doing the videos. Nobody's pretty much missing out if I decide not to, do a live stream. And, the other reason I'm doing this is due to the fact that I've stated time and time again um, that there are a multitude of dangers directly out here when it specifically deals with children. And the main thing that has always been stated is the fact that, fathers don't care. The fathers aren't present. Black men don't care. They just spread their seed anywhere. And, all these, types of things. And this is the main stereotype that has been persistent. And you don't really, in a sense, get a lot of positive stereotypes of black men, in a sense, that are persistent, that, stay directly out there. And I've tried to tell women, and more specifically black women, that the moment in time that you keep trying to focus in on black men and paint them as the bad guy, paint them as the villain, um, that things will transpire and that things will get worse. And this is in a sense where we are at this moment in time. This mother decided that she wanted to take the life of her daughter due to the fact that she loved her dad more. And you know, it's like I said, I don't specifically know what to directly tell people anymore. Um, I really don't. The main thing I try to advocate for more than anything else is for the children, because most adults don't tend to really care. They don't really tend to spend a lot of time talking, about kids, talking about the things that happen to them, that they have to go through, and different things of that nature. And this is, in a sense, one of those things. And the father, which I'm pretty sure some people will feel as though he's not an actual asset, he's not present. He was the one that specifically called CPS directly on the mother because he knew exactly what was happening, what was going on with the child. So this is just, in a sense, some of the words were from his spot. Uh, these are some of the things that he stated, right? So let me get this little bit started right about here.
father that tried but says was repeatedly denied custody of the little girl. Disney cruise planned with her next month. But a phone call last month changed life.
I got that phone call from my brother. He told me my daughter was dead.
High on PCP, she covered her head with a plastic bag as her daughter shouted,
"Mommy, stop." She knew her mama was trying to kill her.
her last moments.
Her last moments. And that's when he said,
Explained to her little girl why this had to be
killed
done.
my daughter because I felt that she loved her daddy more than me. That Lord. Girls cling to their fathers. Boys cling to their mothers. It's just human nature. That's the reason why my daughter's dead. Because she told the truth to the agent. She told the truth. She didn't lie.
What truth did she tell?
That my mother was beaten her. I saw bruises all in her face. That lets me know that her mother was beating her. And she wasn't lying.
Where did you see the bruising? On the cheeks, you said?
Back.
Back.
Her back.
What do you make of that? 60 days.
60 days. Honestly, a slap in the face. It could have got her. It could have got my daughter. It could have got my daughter and saved her life.
To the head of DCFS as you sit here today.
We need to clear the whole building out and put people in there that really want to do this job. No sense that my daughter is laying in the ground. 60 days after I made a call, begging for help.
And they never came.
Never came. She smiled every day.
The father that tried but said.
So what you were able to hear were the words of the father that called CPS, that tried to get help in order to get his daughter directly away from the mother, because the mother was the main one that was abusing, that was neglecting her daughter. And the admission of the mother was that she did it due to the fact that the daughter loved the father more. And I want people to understand that the woman, right? Let me just switch this off real quick. So the woman that you see in the background is the mother. She was at the point in time a occupational therapist. So an occupational therapist, she was an occupational therapist, I think they said for about, let me see, how many years was it? She was an occupational therapist for about 17 years, right? And this is the woman who was jealous of the father due to the fact of the love that he was getting from their daughter. Let me repeat that one more time. A mother was jealous of the fact that her young daughter was giving the father of the same child more love than her. And because of that, she decided that she wanted to erase the child from existence, her and the child. And this is why I try to highlight these videos as much as I do, because a lot of people won't. They'll just let these stories just be, and they'll just focus on whatever else. They'll be like, oh, well, look at what this black man set up there and did. Right? It'll just go to the main negative. And the main thing that I've told people before is that, you can decide that you want to, oh, you said, yo, no, well, I technically I had just, like went live. YouTube don't send, notifications. They like the shadow ban channels. you know. But the main thing is that doesn't get talked about is the fact that you have a lot of fathers out here that are present directly in their child's lives. So let me see. Can I put that window capture back up? Let me see if I can do that. Let me see. Yeah. So this is the father right there. I'm just gonna put that right there. This is the father directly in the middle with his daughter. A loving father, a caring father. This is the main person that the mother that you see the two pictures of. This is the main person that she was jealous of. She was jealous of the fact of the love that the daughter had for the father. And because of that, she was like, well, if my daughter ain't gonna love me, then she ain't gonna love nobody. So ain't nobody about to sit up there and get no love in here. And she decided to raise her daughter. But like I said before, these are stories that don't really get talked about whenever it's a talk about motherhood and bad parenting and all this other type of stuff. A lot of that stuff is pretty much put on the father. It's like, oh well, the father's not there, the fathers don't care, black men just don't exist as fathers, and you guys have been abandoning black women and yada 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 and all this other type of stuff. They had co-parenting working at the moment in time, had co-parenting, but the mother was like, nah, we ain't about to be doing this no more. I'm going to make sure that she's going to love me. I'm going to do this in a variety of ways so that I can get that love directly out of her. The father ended up calling the CPS due to the fact that he saw bruises directly on her daughter. And those bruises came by way of the mother. And he said that he called CPS and CPS was like, yeah, we checked in and we didn't see nothing wrong. We couldn't identify anything on the child. And the reason why CPS couldn't identify anything on the child is because it wasn't the father. Because the whole thing, and I keep trying to tell black women, it's the whole job of like this system, the family courts and all this, is to basically keep the family separate. Is to keep the children with the mother and to keep the father directly out of the household and away from the children. Trying to keep that whole broken family dynamic going to enable a lot of things to take place. Like this. The father, before all of this even happened, he had a plan for his daughter. He had a Disney cruise planned out that they were supposed to go on. Him and his daughter. That's dope. A Disney cruise. Any kid out here would love to sit up there and go on a Disney cruise. And that's a trip she'll never get to go on. Because her mother decided that she wanted to just end things right here because she was jealous of her little daughter. And I kept saying in a lot of videos that things are going to get worse before they get better. And in order for things to get better, a lot of women out here need to be honest at the fact that there are a lot of neglectful mothers. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, not even mothers. There's a lot of neglectful women out here who are able to bear and carry children. Can't even call them mothers due to the fact of they're not even really there for their kids. Like this one. Because the mother, she tried her attempt at erasing herself as well, but magically it failed, right? She drank a certain liquid. She placed, an item directly over her head the same way that she did her daughter. And yeah. And the craziest part as well is that after reading, I guess, her like a bedtime story and them saying their prayers, this is when the mother decided to do this. This is what she wanted to do. It was already planned out. And this is why I sit up there and try to tell a lot of people that you need to stop allowing or enabling a lot of these stories where people are like, oh, well, I was insane. I was crazy. I didn't know what I was doing. And, I wasn't in my right mind. Oh, what have I done? No, she knew what she was doing. You're not going to tell me that somebody who for 17 years was an occupational therapist that went to school and did all of these things. You're not going to tell me that they're crazy. You're not going to tell me that they don't know what they're doing. Like I said, everybody want to focus on what it is that black men are doing, but nobody wants to focus in on the main people that have the closest, relations. Nobody wants to focus in on the individuals that are able to reach the child more, that spends more time with them. This child lost her life for nothing. And the main thing that a lot of people say is that, oh, fathers are supposed to protect their children from the world. You're right. But how is a child supposed to protect themselves? I'm sorry. How is a father supposed to protect his child from somebody that close? He did pretty much up until this point, he did a stand-up job at, in a sense, protecting his daughter from, whatever he was able to see. But the one thing that he wasn't able to protect his daughter from was the greatest threat, which was the mother. It wasn't even the world. It wasn't no type of villains out here. It wasn't no type of men out here trying to do nefarious things. It wasn't none of that. It was a woman. And it's like, even with stories highlighting, things like this, they'll never make the light of day. Why? Because a black man didn't do it. Because the main thing has always been stated is that, hey, men are strong, women are weak. Women can't do any crimes. Women don't have the mentality to do any type of nefarious, villainous, criminal type of things. That's only men. But yet here we are. And nobody wants to talk about how this is a consistent, everyday, weekly, hourly, monthly, yearly type of thing that you have women out here doing to their own children. At no point in time, just because you are able to like bear children, at no point in time do you have the right to go out here and take the life of your child because you feel a certain type of way. If you want to do, if there are things out here that you want to do with your life specifically, go ahead and do that. Leave the child out of it. Obviously, the mother didn't love herself enough. She didn't even know what that was because she understood that she messed up. However, their relationship broke up or failed, she understood that she lost that ability to get that type of love. So she was like, all right, well, if I can't sit up there and get love, and you're sitting up there getting love from her and, giving love back, and I'm not getting anything, ain't nobody getting no type of happiness. So, however I'm feeling on the inside, that's how everybody's about to feel. And that's exactly what she did. Even if she failed at her own attempt, that's exactly what she did. Because the main person that she wanted to hurt was not the child, it was the father. It was the father at the end of the day that she really wanted to serve justice to, that she really wanted to hurt. She wanted him to feel the exact same way that she felt. And this is when I talk about that you have a lot of women out here that don't like to take acknowledgement, accountability, and responsibility for their own actions. This is what that looks like. Because you failed in your relationship, because you're not getting certain things anymore, or whatever it is, you want to be jealous of a life that you had a hand in creating. And because you see the happiness, you see the light, you see all of the endless possibilities in that life, you're like, nah, I used to have that. I used to feel that about myself. I used to, sit up there and get that same type of glow, that same type of life. No, I don't like that no more. You can't have that. So she tried to beat that directly out of her daughter. Multitude of different ways. Then once that didn't sit up there and worked, and the father sat up there and called CPS, she was like, okay, well, since that didn't work and you don't love me because I'm putting my hands on you, no problem. I'm going to choke the light directly out of you. And the last words that the mother stated that she heard from her daughter as she proceeded to do that was, "Mommy, stop." As you put bags directly over both of your heads after saying prayers and reading her story. You drink a liquid that you couldn't get your daughter to drink. You proceed to put a bag over her head and over yours. And this is what you do. Like I said, I don't know what to tell people. I don't. Um, like I said, there are a lot of great and awesome, good black fathers, decent black fathers out here. And those guys will never get shown the light of day. They'll never be paraded around. They'll never be highlighted. You won't see women raising torches for them, talking about, oh, this guy is a great father. This guy is a great father. The main thing that women do, they like to talk about all the bad fathers out there. They like to talk about all the bad men out there. And then try to say that, oh, there are no good fathers out here. There are no decent guys out here. There are no good and decent men out here. But yet, you got a father that was decent, that was a great guy, that was a good father. And this is what happened. The world didn't take the little bit of light that he had from him. It was the mother. So like I said before, I need the women out there to explain to me, how is a father supposed to protect his daughter from the mother if the system is built to keep the mother with the child no matter what she does? Because that man calls CPS and 60 days later his child is in the ground. So you're not going to tell me that the father didn't do enough. You're not going to tell me that the father wasn't present. You're not going to tell me that the father didn't care, that he didn't love her. He was. He did what most parents should do. And the system failed him. This is what a lot of fathers, what a lot of men have to go through. They have to go through a system that is not built to help them, but is built to hinder them. And then at the end of the day, you're still going to have people out here that are going to look at this story and still blame the father for specifically what happened to the daughter, stated that, oh, he could have done more. He should have been there more. Maybe if he actually fought for custody. He couldn't even get CPS to actually do a proper job. And the funny part about CPS? They stated that both of those people were basically not working with CPS, or they're off the case, or whatever it is. And then a little bit later, they were like, okay, well, we did say that both people were no longer with us, but we just rehired one of them that was working on this case that literally dropped the ball so that they can work with trying to protect kids again. But yet people are going to blame the father. Like, oh, you should have did more. You should have been there more. You should have loved your daughter more. Maybe if you were more present. You're going to go to, oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. Oh, black men, they can't even protect our daughters. Like I said, all of this is I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I can't even tell you right now how many stories that I've literally went through where I see very similar things taking place that I don't even put up on the channel. And I just read them and I just keep going. Countless stories. It's ridiculous. It is 1,000% ridiculous how often stuff like this happens. And yet women don't say nothing. Zero. Silent. But mind you, let the roles be reversed, because I did do a story where a father ended up taking the life of the girlfriend and the kids. Magically, people care, right? Magically, the kids matter. Magically, people, care about the woman, all of that. But when it's a black father that goes through this, where's all of that same energy? All of that bashing that people want to do and talk about black men, where's all of that energy? Because I never see that. I never see those same individuals speaking on this. They always stay silent. But let me put up, countless, stories or continuous stories of black men doing this. Oh, they'll eat it up. They'll be there. That'll get some views. People will share and pass that around. But when it's stuff like this, when it's the face of somebody who, in a sense, looks like them, that's when it gets a little bit too real. And this is when people start clicking off the channel. This is when people just look at the image of the video, read the title, and like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm not talking about it. Let me know when a black man did it. She's just a variable. She's not the representation of, all black women out here and all mothers out here. She's an individual, right? That's the main comment that I get, right, when I generalize. But if I happen to generalize black men, I don't get women talking about, oh, this guy is just an individual. This is just one black man out of the many of good and great black men that are out there that are, a persistent wannabe fathers and all this other. Never get the same energy. Never get the same energy. But yet people want to call me out and call me a hypocrite. Ain't that something? Like I told people before, my main thing is that I try to be as even as possible when I bring up and I talk about these stories, because these are things that are persistent that need to get fixed. And the only people out here that is hurting children are adults. And it's adults that ain't saying shit. Like I said, like it's like it's bad. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, where the fuck are y'all at? Like, a lot of y'all say that y'all consistent in being a parent. Y'all say that y'all love kids. Y'all say that y'all are guardians, but y'all ain't really saying shit whenever these stories come up. So it's like, how much do y'all really love kids? Because very easily this could be, like I said, this is not me wishing this on anybody, but this story right here, this could be anybody. This could literally be anybody. This could be anybody's kids. But it's like people don't want to think that way because they feel like, oh, well, if I think that way, I'm going to bring that energy towards. No, it's like, yo, you're aware of the stuff of a potentiality. Because I'm pretty sure, at a point in time that the father knew the mother, I'm pretty sure he didn't think that she would have, that type of, thing towards her own daughter where she's like, okay, I'm about to end everything now. I'm pretty sure he didn't have that inkling at all. Spider senses wasn't tingling because that's not what she showed. Like I said, everybody got stories in their families of stuff happening. So I'm a little bit confused on why is it that you don't have more adults out here advocating and really trying to protect children. Like, y'all can't give me like a fucking excuse on why it is that it is adults every single time taking the lives of kids. And y'all just silent. Y'all just sit back there. I'm like, well, that was them. It ain't my family. I gotta worry about my own. That's what, most people say. But I'm like, at the end of the day, this could be you. Anything can sit up there and just happen. And it's like, I try to get people to understand, it's like, I get why it is that people say it, but don't be in the realm of thinking that you are immune of this from potentially happening to you. And then once something does happen, now you want to turn around and care. It's too late to fucking care. It's too late. It's too late. I don't understand that about adults. I don't understand why it is that everybody wants to fucking care about some shit once it hits home. Now, once it becomes real and you can sit up there and see it, you got to go to a funeral. You got to see somebody in a vegetative state in a hospital. Now you want to sit up there and be conscious, be like, oh man, we got to do something about this. I got to really start marching. I got to start going door to door. I got to start knocking. Nah, sit the fuck down. Just be with your family. Rest with that loved one right there at that headstone. Just sit right there. Just don't say shit. Because when you had ample time to sit up there and actually fix and say some shit to prevent some shit from happening, where the fuck were you? Nowhere. Nowhere. Like, I can't explain how tiring it is. Like I said, I can give a fuck less if adults lose their lives. I'm just gonna be honest. I can give a fuck less. I can just not give a shit. Because everybody's in control of their own destiny. It is what it is. Children, that's a different story. They don't have that control. They don't have that navigation. They don't have that map. They're not the captain of their own ship. And I sit back here every single day, reading through, looking at these stories, putting up these stories. And it's like, it's pretty much silence. And it's baffling. People always talk about the shit that we need to sit up there and fix, around the world, in communities. How about adults fix the issue of adults taking the lives of kids? How about that one? Let's start there. Because if kids are supposed to be the future and this is the shit that's happening, we don't have a fucking future. So kiss that goodbye. Like I said, I done heard people like, oh, I'm a great parent. I'm this, I'm that. All right, that's great. That's cool. But let's be honest. You can say that you're a great parent, but if you know that stuff is going on, right, in your family, and those kids are being harmed, doesn't matter if it's neglect, whatever it is, are you going to be grown enough, adults enough, parents enough to basically take those kids out of that situation and to take care of them? Are you going to take on a responsibility, or are you just going to sit up there and just monitor your kids and just watch that shit slip? And now those kids are fucked up because you allowed it to get fucked up. When you had ample enough time to basically see, okay, well, they're young, they're going through some stuff right now. This might cause a little bit of an issue, but it needs to happen. And I'll help them understand it. But at this moment in time, this is the thing that needs to happen. They need to be saved. There are so many families out here that know that things are happening. And you got parents that are just sitting up there watching and they're like, well, we are family, but those ain't my kids. I'll let everybody else deal with it. I'll let everybody else deal with it. So then once those kids become teenagers and you start to see that their mentality is fucked up, the way that they move in life is fucked up, now you want to sit up there and critique them and shit, but you forgot the role that you played when you could have sat up there and stopped all of that shit from transpiring by being a positive influence and, in a sense, being a savior for those kids. So now once those fucked up teenagers become fucked up adults, now you're like, oh, this is ridiculous. Like, where were people? How come nobody? No, motherfucker, how come you didn't do something? Like, it's crazy. Like I said before, it's crazy to me that a lot of people sit up there and say that they're great and good parents and all this other type of shit, but you're allowing and looking at this shit happening. You're allowing and you looking at this shit happening. Like I said, half of the parents out here ain't like this father. He was like, yo, I'm about to call CPS on the moms because this is what she's doing to my daughter. I'm going to try to go the best route possible to get help for my daughter so that she'll be with me. The system failed him. Obviously, other people in the family did not fucking care because they didn't fucking give an interview. So I'm just going to assume that up until further notice. The only one that actually gave a fuck was the father. And CPS didn't give a fuck either because they was like, hey, We won't let her be with the mother. We're not really going to check because it's a woman at the end of the day. Women aren't known to really go after and do anything negative to their children. It's always the men, though. So we feel that technically this is a setup. We feel that you're trying to throw us for a loop, but we know what it is. You're never getting your daughter. You'll be able to co-parent, but she's never going to be with you. And they made sure of that. Because he's never going to see her ever again. Like I said, man. It's always funny to me when I happen to look online and I don't see a lot of stories of, huge platforms talking about shit like this. It's amazing to me. I mean, I get it. I get it. People don't want to, in a sense, talk about it because it's not going to really bring in the revenue. It's not going to really bring in the money. Chances are the video and everything else is going to be yellow because, there's so many, things there that you got to navigate. And, I get it. But the thing I look at is like, do you care more about the money or do you care about the lives and putting this story out there so that people have an example and know what to look for? Obviously, a lot of people care more about the money. And that's the sad part. This is why you see huge platforms, everybody's talking about the exact same shit. You don't really see people talking about different shit. Like I said, it's, like I said, at the end of the day, this is why I keep saying that adults really do not care. Parents really do not care about children. I'm just going to keep saying it because I got countless, no matter how many parents you can give me that are going to be like, no, I care, I care, I care. I can show you umpteen times whatever you got. I can times that by like 1,000. I could literally have a 24-hour rotation of these stories. Not going to be able to keep up. I could do this for a year. You're not going to be able to keep up. I can promise you. Like I said, it's not kids doing this. It's adults. It's parents. But yet people don't want to talk about it. People don't want to face this fact. They want to look at these criminals. They sat up there and, shot up this party and took the lives of these kids. And they want to look at all this other type of stuff. All this other like external type shit. But people don't want to look at the internal shit. People don't want to look at the shit at home. Where you got parents continuously taking their lives of kids because of the way that they feel. But we always want to look out the outside because it's so much easier. Because it's something that we don't really have control over. So it's easier to highlight and to sit up there and talk about it and to show it off. But nobody ever wants to sit up there and show off the shit on the inside. Nobody ever wants to sit up there and show off the stuff that's at home. Because that's the ugly shit. That's the shit that you do have control over. That's the shit that you can change, but you just neglect. And you're like, nah, I ain't going to fucking change shit. I'm going to leave that shit the way that it's always been. And people wonder why you got society and everything else looking like this. And you specifically wonder why you got teachers out here beating the hell out of your kids, abusing your kids, neglecting your kids. You wonder why that is because that's what you're doing. In some form, way, or fashion, you've neglected your child. So in order for you to understand what it is that you've more than likely done, either consciously or subconsciously, the universe is like, I got you. Let me allow this other person inform you about what it is that you've in a sense done. And that's when people want to, oh my God, I can't believe that this stranger, I handed over my child and this is what you decided to do. Well, think back and try to figure out at what certain points in times have you specifically neglected your child in whatever way. And then maybe you can actually figure out why it is that it happened in a real world setting. It's happening in a real world setting so that you can understand and see it, so that you can fix it before it actually gets worse. It's in a sense a warning. like I said, this world is just fucked. That's I've come to that understanding a long time ago. I've come to that understanding a long, long time ago. People would rather be entertained versus actually knowing the truth. People would rather focus on everything else that makes them happy versus knowing the truth. And I get it. I get it. Everybody, goes through stressful things. It's a lot of things out here that's outside of our control, a lot of stressors and all this other type of stuff. We don't really want to take on any more stress. It's going to bring us down. I get it. I get it. But they sit up there and say that if you don't learn from the past, you're in a sense going to end up reliving it. It's going to be persistent. It's going to keep happening. And that's what this is. We got countless stories of parents doing this because we refuse to pay attention to the things that have happened in the past in order to prevent it in the present and in the future. So again, adults neglecting children, even if it's not your children, even if it's not, neglect is still happening. I'm pretty sure that a lot of us throughout life can go through and point out a variety of instances that we saw some stuff, but we decided not to say nothing out of fear, because it's like, well, if you say something to a parent and all this other type of stuff, then they're going to start yelling and all this other type of stuff. Well, at least you tried. At least you did do something. You said something. You made that person aware. You're an outsider looking at the picture, letting that parent know that, yo, you're not at home. This is not okay. This should not be an everyday consistent type of thing. You need to stop this. At least you actually said something instead of walking by being silent because you were afraid of that confrontation with that parent. So you're more afraid of being in confrontation with that parent versus caring about the life and the safety of that child. Got you. Got it. Got it. The fear is more important. Fuck the child. Fuck the kids. The fear is more important. Got it. Got it. Got it. I'm pretty sure a lot of these kids that are now dead and in the ground would have wished that there were more people like that father who tried to stand up, that tried to speak, that tried to actually get some things corrected. I bet you a lot of those kids that are no longer with us, that lost their lives by their own parents or their family, I bet you they wish that there were more fathers, more individuals like him that would actually have tried to at least say something. It's crazy. It's 1,000% crazy. And like I said before, the reason why I also put up, these stories again is to advocate for, the kids, because nobody really does. Go out here. This is the thing. After I don't even know how many people even realistically here who even might make it this far, but through all of the people that you're subscribed to, through all of the channels that you watch, just take your time and just try to count how many people that you actually like listen to that really advocate for kids, that really want to get like this type of shit fixed, that are willing to, in a sense, take a hit, whatever it is, in order to get this out. Because I've had certain videos before where I wanted to specifically put the stories out the way that they were, and YouTube was like, oh, can't let you do that, or it's 18 plus, or whatever it is. So, like I said, I get why it is that people don't happen to put out these stories and, these types of things. I get it. I completely understand. But like I said, go through the channels that you like and you love so much, and just do a mental calculation of how many channels consistently talk about stories like this. Advocate for kids, advocate for the future. They're trying to get this type of neglect and abuse and whatnot to basically stop. It's not going to be a lot. I can promise you, it's not going to be a lot. And that's sad. I know. That's it's pretty. It's something. That's something. I had to actually go back and check my microphone to make sure that it was actually working. Because I'm like, that would suck if I was doing all this talking and couldn't nobody hear nothing for about 46 minutes. That would really suck. You know. Gail says she erased her daughter. She let me take down the picture of the father real quick. So she basically took her daughter's life because she felt that the daughter loved the father more. So she was going to take her own life, also including her daughter's as well, because she was basically jealous over the type of love that the father was getting from the daughter. So, like I said, this is why I try to highlight these stories. I've highlighted, stories of men, highlighted stories of black men doing this, just taking out everybody. Story not too long ago that I sat up there and did. Matter of fact, let me see some real quick. Um, Let me make sure this is. Oh, I don't gotta worry about that being muted. Um, Let me see if I can actually go to it real quick. Give me a quick second. Um, where is the young woman? Let me see. Yeah, it was the previous story. It only got about like 432 views. It was Robert J. Clayton Jr., age 45, unalived, his whole family. And in the background image, you see the faded image of the mother of those children. Um, like I said, it don't matter who it is. If it has to do with kids, the story is going to be put up here. I might have to reword some things and different things of that nature, but I'm going to do what I have to do in order to put the story up here. Like I said, I get it. A lot of people don't want to um, talk about these things because it's a downer. It's not going to make people happy and different things of this nature, but it'll let you know what to look for, because there are too many kids that are in families right now where in a sense they're trapped. They don't have anybody to speak for them. They're afraid to speak because their parents have made them afraid to speak. They can't defend themselves against a fully grown adult who is going to potentially either do something like when they're asleep, or try to take them out of existence, or whatever it is. There's no way that they can literally defend themselves against that. It takes another adult to defend them against that. And only an adult can. But adults don't. 9 times out of 10. And it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. But like I said, kids are supposed to be the future, but look how we treat the future. Look at where the future is going. Like I wish that there was just like some type of place where you can just like, after kids are born, you can just place them like somewhere else where they can just grow, where they don't have to worry about all this other type of like bullshit that adults are going to impart, directly on them because of their failures, because of their jadedness, because of their jealousy, because of their envy, because of their anger, because of whatever it is that the world didn't give them, or they were never successful in, or because of how their parents treated them, or how their family, like, it's crazy. And this is why I keep continuously saying that you just have a lot of people in adult bodies that are still children. At the end of the day, she was a child raising a child. No matter if she was, for 17 years, she was an occupational therapist, she was still a child raising a child. Because an actual logical adult that is of age would have never done anything like this. Would have never done anything like this. Like I said, my condolences to the father. He didn't deserve any of this. That child, she didn't deserve any of this. Like I said, that's, it's crazy. And then the one picture that they have up there online, they want to show her disheveled and, and crying. I didn't put that image up here because I don't believe in that image. So I'm going to put the image of her more than likely how she was when she was with her daughter. I'm not going to put up the jail photo of her orange garb, hair disheveled, crying. I'm not doing none of that because you weren't sorry when you did this to your daughter. You weren't sorry when you formulated this plan in your mind. You weren't sorry when you thought about how this was specifically going to make the father feel because you wanted him to feel the same way that you feel. Nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Like I said, I don't know what to tell people. Um, so even though I did a live stream about it, I'm of course going to put up the story, and you'll be able to hear it in its roughly in its entirety. At least how I put it together. Um, I don't know. It's like it sucks, because you want to do so much for kids, but it's like this is the most that you can, in a sense, do. You know, you can just sit behind a screen and talk directly in front of a camera, sit in a chair, and in the hope that the message gets through to people. Obviously, it doesn't. And YouTube makes sure that takes place. A multitude of ways. Because I've done quite a few stories, and YouTube's like, we see you doing stories. We'll make sure a few subscribers, see it. We're not gonna push it to everybody, but a few subscribers, they'll see it. So, sometimes it feels like when you do like these videos and whatnot, you're just talking to like the vacuum space, where it's like you're just talking and talking and talking, and the sound ain't reaching nothing. It's not reaching a satellite in orbit. It's not reaching like a moon, another planet. It's not even making it past like the stars. You're just there. Well, anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. I didn't plan on being here for a long time. I don't know. Figure out something. But for the people that's here, much love, appreciation. Thank you for sitting here, listening to me. Talk about the story and rant. I appreciate and love you guys a lot. because it's only a few of y'all that actually show up anyway. So I appreciate you guys. I wish it was more that I can do versus just saying that I appreciate and love you guys, but that's all I can do. But again, thank you for being here. And I will see you guys a little bit later. I'll finish up the video after I'm done with this live stream, and what time is it? Let me see. It's about like 2:45, so I'll probably have that up to you guys about like 6 o'clock. I'm not sure what everybody time is, but roughly 6 o'clock my time. That video will be showcased to you guys. So peace, love, and wait, I messed up on my ending. Oh man. Anyways, much love, respect, and appreciation. Hey, we got a train here, yo. What's up, man? Yo, what is up, brother? What is up? What is up? What is up? Man, you made it in here right when I was about to sit up here and lead a live stream, man. YouTube tends to give those notifications pretty late to people. But again, love you guys. Sorry if y'all made it late. Y'all be able to hit up the live stream. Probably fast forward maybe through like the first 10 minutes. People wasn't really watching it. They were just fluctuating directly through there. Oh, you was like, hey, all right, brother. All right, yeah, I ain't know. So, I'm just in my mind, I'm looking at numbers. I'm like, yeah, YouTube ain't giving out those notifications. They ain't giving out those notifications to let people know I'm live and talking and whatnot. But I don't know. Maybe I might try to go live a little bit more often. Hopefully, trying to stay consistent. That's a work in progress. But yeah. Anyways, because I'm reiterating myself again, I know I'm about to go get some food. Love you guys a lot. Appreciate you guys. Respect you guys for being here, listening to me ramble and rant. About this. Go find something to uplift you. Some happy stories. Play some games, watch some movies, listen to some music. Stuff like that. Hang out. With your family. Tell them that you love them. Give a family member a hug or something, a friend a hug. Stuff like that. Pink said, I didn't get a notification. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is YouTube is great. YouTube is great at giving out those notifications. They are A1. A1 for black content creators. A1. But all right, see you guys next time on the next live stream.